July 19th. What have you got for us? Firstly, mental health warning for today. Okay, not until later tonight, but that energy could stick around for a while. So we might be feeling it all day and half the day tomorrow. So, overnight aspects, not super busy. Okay, at 2 a.m., the moon is making an aspect with the North Node in Pisces. So the moon is in Taurus, okay, and it's making an aspect with the North Node in Pisces. And there's a little bit of tension, not huge, usually just like an inner kind of stress, an inner kind of frustration, some kind of outdated, worn out kind of situation needs to be dealt with. Okay, so because we're dealing with the moon in Taurus, it's something to do with your stability, maybe even your money, your self-worth, those kinds of issues. There's something within that space that needs to be thrown away in order to be moving forward. Okay, North Node moving forward, and it's likely to be an uncomfortable thing that you need to let go of. Okay, because Taurus doesn't like to do things that are uncomfortable. All right, okay, so at 8:57 a.m. the moon meeting up with Jupiter. Happy times. Okay, moon is in Taurus, Jupiter's in Cancer. Taurus and Jupiter, Taurus and Cancer love each other. They love it. They like taking things easy. They like, lazing around. Okay, so perfect morning, July 19th. Perfect morning to be relaxing. Okay, really take the time to do that, because the afternoon gets fucking hectic. Okay, so at 3:26 p.m. the moon and Lilith are in opposition with each other. Okay, so the moon being in Taurus, it wants to take it easy. It doesn't want to go into the depths of anybody's feelings. It wants to have a nice time. It wants to feel good. But Lilith is in Scorpio, and so she's in the depths, in the shadows, in the opposition energy of Taurus, and she wants to go deep. She's like, I like what you're doing, but let's deepen this up, right? Because it wants something healing to happen, right? This could be, like thinking that something is surface level and then discovering that there is a deep core to it. All right, this is like something that's going to like show up where you like kind of show up like you're fine, like I'm fine, check me out, my external is fine. But in the depths of your core, you're shameful or feeling guilty or being worried about being misunderstood. And so we're sort of navigating that energy of 3:26 p.m. Then 7:12, the sun is coming in to meet up with the moon. And look, they want something organized. They want something sorted out, right? This is kind of like a restless energy here where, we're after kind of nurturing, but with the sun involved, it's very bright. It's very like ego driven, right? So something within that space needs to be sorted out and figured whether or not you need to still be putting energy into it, right? Probably something about where you have been seeking external nurturing, external validation that you're worthy of nurturing, right? So then at 8:07 p.m., let the battleground open, my friends. Okay, seriously, this is when the battleground opens on the 19th. So 8:07 p.m., Mercury in Leo, retrograde, and the moon in Taurus. Okay, and they are having a fucking fight because Mercury in Leo, okay, and we are retrograde. So we're in this kind of revision moment of like where we haven't let our light shine, right? Where we haven't let our truth come through, where we haven't nurtured our creativity, right? And the moon in Taurus is being stubborn as fuck. And it's like, it is how it is. Okay, it is how it is. And Mercury in Leo is like, what if it isn't? What if it isn't? We have this like little inner turmoil with, look, the energy's trying to push you through some kind of stubborn mind pattern, okay? Then we get a really nice moment within a relationship dynamic where the curiosity in the relationship dynamic actually helps us see that we don't need to be as stubborn, right? Because Venus is in Gemini, so it's about moving. We're moving. And so we find it much easier to move forward, right? We can be a little bit more nurturing with it because those two energies together, Venus being the heart, Gemini being curiosity. So we can kind of understand perspectives a little bit easier. So then at 10:27 p.m., we're back in the battleground, okay? Saturn in Aries, in retrograde, having a little battle with the moon in Taurus, okay? Because again, this is like something's not worth it. Something's not worth it. We're holding on to something and it's not worth holding on to, right? Now, this is the one that I warned you was mental health warning was about. 10:48 p.m. The sun squaring Chiron. So the sun is in Cancer, big, bright, huge, because Jupiter is also in Cancer, and it is squaring Chiron in Aries, who's days away from starting its retrograde. Okay, so this is like a big, bright, shining light coming in to like completely tear open, rip up, shine the brightest torch you've ever seen on a childhood wound. Okay, and it could be both mother and father wound, because Cancer representing the mother and Chiron in Aries generally representing a father wound. But this is a wound of your identity, okay? And this is like, it's like through the frustration of this energy, you need to find a way to learn how to communicate about it. Okay, so it's like the sun is shining in here because something needs to be dealt with. Something needs to be learned, okay? And so because this is happening in the middle of the moon making a semi-square to Saturn and then a semi-square to Neptune after it, it's like, what are you building? Okay, this is getting in the way. This childhood wound that needs to be dealt with is getting in the way. And let's now look at where these things have gotten in the way in the past, right? Neptune and Aries. Now, these issues around your childhood wound would have been evident from like the end of March, right? So from the end of March until now, what this sun in Cancer is trying to show you about the childhood wound, you would have experienced it stopping you from doing something since the end of March, okay? So go easy on yourself. Anything can kind of trigger this childhood wound, all right? So it's likely that we'll start feeling that in the afternoon, and we'll feel it until the afternoon on the 20th. Be kind to yourself, and don't try to be overly logical if like feelings start coming up, okay? Because you just need to feel them, unfortunately, okay? Stay weird.